everybody, it's me, Sunny. Welcome back to Sunnyside. And if you haven't read the description already, we are talking about Scott Pilgrim. You know what? Let's just go ahead and go back to 2004. During that time, there was a mini-series of comics that came out called Scott Pilgrim, and it ran from 2004 to 2010. It wasn't your ordinary comic book superhero storyline, but it did a great job giving a unique story. It went on to go sell a bunch of copies, and it came out eventually in a 6-part novel series that I plan to get. Haven't gotten it yet, but I plan to get. And eventually in 2010, a movie was made based off of the comics. The movie adaptation was called Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and just like many, it was my first time being introduced to Scott Pilgrim. It starred Michael Cera. I mean, the action was great. I mean, the movie was just awesome. It was quirky, it was funny, it was retro, it had a ton of action in the movie. Man, I enjoyed the heck out of this movie. It's really spoke to who I was during that time, just graduating high school in that awkward young adult stage of my life. Well, like I said before, it starred Michael Cera. He portrayed a semi-socially awkward person, young adult, like me. People are recognizing this film way more now than before, going from a bomb at the box office to instant cult classic, and eventually won my heart and others too. Then came the video game. Now, a brief history on the video game. It came out in 2010, a little bit after the movie. And now in that time, I was broke. I had no money. I couldn't buy anything, let alone a video game. But I really wanted it so bad. But I waited and I was patient and I lost care about it. But then when it came back up, I wanted to buy it. And I went back to the Xbox Live Marketplace and it was gone. What? Why? Why did it have to go? Well, apparently there were some licensing issues that they had to take the game off of the PlayStation Network and the Xbox Live Marketplace. I was so bummed that they did that. Until 2021, it was re-released. Oh, I'm so thankful for that. I've been waiting 10 years to play this game, and now it's finally here. Will it be better than the movie? I don't know, but let's find out. Well, before I begin with the gameplay, I want to give a quick summary of the story, the quickest that I know how to. Basically, Scott Pilgrim falls in love with a girl named Ramona, and in order to date her, he must now defeat her 7 evil exes. Sounds pretty straightforward though. Well, here's some of my first impressions about the game. Look at the presentation. It is so awesome. The artwork is done really well. Looks straight out of a comic book, or better yet, a 16-bit retro game. And the music, it is so rad. Like, it's done really, really well. Like, just listen to this first level music for a second. That is some dope music. The level select is pretty cool. It reminds me a lot of Super Mario 3, you know, where you're traveling through the map or the world to the next level or destination. Here you're traveling on a map of Toronto, or at least what they think Toronto looks like. It's a bit more animated, and again, great music, great sound effects, and done really well. You can pick between 6 different characters here. You have Ramona, Knives, Steven, Wallace, Kim, and of course Scott, who I chose, but a lot of variety to choose from. And one cool thing I must mention here, the character select screen looks a lot like Super Mario 2's select screen. Again, paying respects to the classics. The gameplay is a side-scrolling beat-em-up, basically like you would see in Double Dragon or Streets of Rage, where you just go to the right and beat up everybody you see in sight or who's trying to hit you. It's classic retro action beat-em-up fun. I love it.
Sweet! Love this one.
But the game is also pretty hard too. Even though overall the game is pretty classic, I'm prepared to talk about a few things that may hold it back. For one, the enemies sometimes drain your health really fast. Even though these enemy designs are done really well, I keep on dying by these dinosaurs. I mean, it's not too bad, eventually you'll learn, but it just makes it more frustrating. Whatever. Also, another thing, the enemies block. Blocking is not really meant to be in games like these. This is a beat 'em up game. Blocking takes the fun out of it. I just want to beat something up. Seriously, this doesn't make it more challenging, it just makes it a little more annoying.
This is boring.
But possibly the most annoying part about this game is the platforming. It's an asymmetrical game that requires accurate jumping and running. There's no way it should require this. Like, look at this level. I think that's blood dripping down, by the way. Maybe Kool-Aid, whatever. But look, it's so hard to navigate through. I died so many times on this level. Jeez.
This is a nightmare.
Well, besides those things that hold it back, this game actually has a lot of unique qualities that beat 'em ups don't normally have. Like the animation and build-up of your super attack. This is so much fun. It's so satisfying getting a huge group together and trying to get the highest number combo. Bam, 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 bam. So satisfying, I swear. I can do this all day.
This guy's good.
What I like about this game is that you gain XP by defeating enemies, and when you level up, you unlock new moves to defeat even more enemies. And every time you defeat an enemy, they drop coins. And you collect coins and you take them to stores, you buy equipment, and they boost up your stats. And that means health, defense, attack, all of that. Every boss fight is so unique. None of it gets boring. None of it's the same. I mean, you have Matthew Patel in the Vampire Dancers, Lucas Lee on his movie set, Todd Ingram the vegan, Roxy, Envy Adams, the twins, and of course, Gideon Graves. Holy cow, Gideon's boss fight was ridiculous and hard. I mean, look at this. Isn't this not one of the most epic things you've ever seen in a game? I don't even know what I'm looking at. What is this? Head shooting balls or bubbles or something? I don't know. And I know I already briefly mentioned Todd the Vegan, but his boss fight was also pretty epic. And basically, like any other game out there, you defeat the final boss, complete the story, and get a taste of that sweet video game victory. Well, if it was any other game, this is probably where I would end things. But this game actually has a lot of extra modes and features to it, so let's check it out. Yeah, there are a few extra modes in this game, and quite honestly, they all seem pretty underwhelming. The first mode is the boss rush, which I think is not bad because you could at least go back and fight all the bosses without going through the whole story again. And it's a pretty cool way to test your skill too. The second mode is Survivor Horror. You're really just beating up all these zombies here. It takes forever though to beat up zombies, and quite honestly, I didn't really have the patience. Seemed like a cool concept though, but just wasn't for me. The third mode is Battle Royale. Just 2 to 4 players fighting each other. Yay. The fourth mode, Dodgeball. I have no idea what's happening here. This doesn't even look like Dodgeball. Well, anyway, the last one I won't fail to mention is the online gameplay. It was really cool trying to find 2 to 3 extra players to finish a level. The downside is that it was really laggy every game that I found. I'm sure there's ones that work just fine, but for me, I didn't really have the patience or the time to really sit through it. I have to give the developers here some credit trying to implement new modes, but honestly, I think you're better off sticking to the core gameplay or the story mode. That's where you're going to be spending most of your time on anyways. Listen, there's a lot to unlock here, and I haven't done it all, but I also don't want to spoil it all, so I'll let you figure that out. Well, in conclusion, I think this game is actually a really good game. It's a love letter to the classics of gaming while actually being relatively new. Now, if you're not a fan of gaming, classic gaming, or Scott Pilgrim in general, then this game is probably not for you. But the presentation and the artwork and the sound, it's all done really, really well. So if you're into that kind of stuff, I say check it out. Why not? The game's awesome. Well, thank you for checking out today's video. Until next time, this is Rich signing out. Hope you have a great day.